One of the greatest achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the tax bill. I repeat, one of the greatest achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the tax bill. The tax bill is another form of restructuring. I repeat again, the tax bill is another form of restructuring whereby states will manage their resources and also their revenue. It is another room for competitiveness, for creativity of states in Nigeria. Let's look at this. Now, on the 1st of January 2026, the tax bill will be implemented by the government of Tinubu. Now, on Thursday, June 26th, 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed the Nigeria Tax Act and 3 associated bills, including the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, collectively known as the Tax Reform Bills, into law. This is one of the greatest achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, the Tax Reform Act, devolving tax revenues to the state, will return Nigeria to the era of regional system of governance, whereby states were able to manage what they have, and they were developing at that pace. Regional system, each region have control of a certain amount of revenue and resources allocated to it. Whatever it derives, it uses to develop the region. You see what happened in the Southwest, whereby Awolowo used the revenue to develop the Southwest region. One of the greatest achievements of the Southwest was from a person of Awolowo because of this kind of revenue sharing policy. So, it will return Nigeria to pre-January 15, 1966 coup. Before the coup, how was Nigeria being governed? We are governed in regions. So in the Southeast, they used their own. Michael Okpara, what did Michael Okpara use to develop the Southeast region? Most of the gigantic edifices, the projects M.I. Okpara did is still existing to today. Most of what the legacies Awolowo did is still existing today. Northern Nigeria used groundnut to develop their own economy because of this kind of restructuring. So, little by little, small, we are entering regional system. That is why I support Tinubu on this tax bill and restructuring. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. Now, leading to competition amongst the regions for revenue generation and development. Everybody will know that it is my responsibility to generate revenue. Yes. And it is the responsibility of the people in those states and regions to hold their leaders accountable at that level. Now, all this thing about federal government citing projects in a particular region, taking general citing in a particular region, will be tackled at that level. But at the state level, this tax bill, your tax revenue, your revenue is going to increase. More monies for the state government. Then the governors will now have the responsibility to use those monies to develop their states. If in Southeast we are asking for ports, seaport in the Southeast, what is going on in Ogun State is not federal government. It is PPP, partnership, private partnership. So if governors have such a revenue in the Southeast, the people in that area will come together and say, okay, let's find a way to partner with private companies, private interests, public-private partnership. Then we can draw a roadmap for a Southeast seaport. Then the federal government will have to come in when they have seen the structure, the roadmap, what you have drawn out for yourself in the Southeast. This tax bill, if fully implemented, if there's no corruption, if there's no mago in the whole thing, it is going to lead us to that kind of restructuring whereby every state and every region will be able to be responsible. They will be responsible to themselves and to the people. Remember, we have regional development commissions. We have the Southwest Regional we have the southeast, we have the south-south, we have the northeast, we have the north-central, we have the northwest. So all these things will fall in line with the tax bill. Okay? Now, the Tax Reform Act will reduce this behavior whereby states who contribute less to the total VAT revenue complain when a larger percentage is given to another state that contributed higher VAT. Now, Lagos is productive. Let me use my state. Abia State is not that productive compared to Lagos. If they are going to share VAT and you take the highest of highest and give to Lagos, Abia State will be complaining. Why would they give to Lagos? This one is as you walk, now you go chop. I love it. So that politicians will be creative. If Lagos is bringing the higher revenue, let Lagos collect higher so that some people will think very well. I told my brothers in the southeast, you are taking all your investment and whatever, you are putting it in Lagos. You are giving Lagos more leverage than the whole of southeast. You are giving Ogun State. Igbo people, they're full Lagos, they're full Ogun State, they're full Ibadan. In fact, all the southwest states, they're full there. In fact, all over Nigeria, they're there. You are adding more to the economy of these states. This tax bill is going to make you rethink. If you have 500 million naira, invest 200 million naira in the southeast. Then use 300 million naira to do one or two things in other places so that you can preserve your heritage. This is a region. So, Lagos will be having more for producing more. Look at the airport money for airport. Now over 900 billion. And Northern Nigeria is complaining that they are using 700 billion to fix Lagos. Lagos brings much more revenue than every other state. Okay, an example is the allocation of over 700 billion naira to Lagos Airport, whilst other airports get lesser than 300 billion. Although Northerners complain about the fact, the fact remains that Lagos gives more revenue to the nation than other airports. Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, gives more revenue to Nigeria than every other airport. So whatever the government is doing, it should be able to allocate more to Lagos State. We are coming. We know that there's a lot of politics being played by this government, trying to focus on a particular region, making the region more viable, not trying to spread the burden across other regions. Let us get this right. This tax bill, let us get it right. Then at that stage, we'll start canvassing and campaigning that we need social structures. It is beyond our state and our capacity to fund with all the monies we have. Okay, for instance, the southeast region, they want to build a seaport or a refinery, whatever it is, or a gas plant. And with what they have on ground, they will approach the federal government. We have a template of this gas plant so that we can refine our gas. Yes, the gas will be refined and supplied from the southeast. They can meet the federal government. If the federal government refuses, then you have a legitimate ground to say that we have a template of what to do. We have mapped out everything, and the government is refusing. At that point, Igbo politicians have an agenda. They have something like they have planned. They can come together and say, we don't want to be part of this system anymore. If the government is not going to give us what we want, everybody will come together united. If you are united in a particular region, it is much more better than, you see, this one. P2B talk this one. Umahi go talk that one. Ojo Kano go that side. Soludo go talk go that side. No organization, no nothing. No aim. I thought that they had a Southeast Development Summit whereby top Southeast leaders were to come to discuss how we can develop the Southeast. If these politicians are together, the governors, everyone is together, having a roadmap, a plan for the Southeast, it will be better. We might even achieve much more than we talk about the freedom of the Igbo people. Governors, they talk their own. Look at the Southwest. When they talked about constitutional review, look at what Southwest came together to say. When they talk about it in the Southeast, look at what they were saying. Even Northern Nigeria said better things than the Southeast. So this tax reform bill is going to separate everybody, the boys from the men. Everybody will now think, use your brain and think, be creative. Those that are waiting for federal government at the end of the month will have to rethink on how they can utilize every part of Nigeria, can develop any part of Nigeria. All states in Nigeria are jam-packed with a lot of resources. Make do with what you have and develop your region or your state. That is the emphasis of the tax reform bills. Because a lot of things is being taken from, we understand the politics that the Yoruba politicians have played. So much investment in Lagos, now you are putting a tax bill that in the first place, the tax bill will be beneficial to the southwest at most. Ogun State, Oyo State, Ondo State, Lagos State. Now them go benefit past. Most of our industries are in the southwest. Our only wonderful refinery is in the southwest. Most of our headquarters, parastatals and everything, most of the manufacturing companies, the headquarters, is in the southwest. So all these things, we need to factor them. We know that the Yoruba politicians, but we need to start somewhere. We cannot keep on saying, like we are portioning blame. This government is not. Let there be a structure on ground for people to have to look down and gather themselves together. Then you can look at a bigger picture of saying, okay, this is our region, we have this, and we want to put this. This is what we contribute through our resources. You know, there's a difference between revenue and the resources that from the southeast we contribute gas and oil. So the measure at which even the South has said, now then they cheated pass. We are getting there. Let's start from this tax bill first before we now cross over to the other side and start asking, okay, these are our resources now, we need to manage it. We need to demand a see, accountability is key in all these things that Tinubu is doing. Let's move on. Okay. The tax reform will stop laziness from states that potentially do nothing and are waiting for revenue from the federal government. Will stop laziness. Everybody will put their hands on deck and be creative to make sure that they derive a lot of revenue and develop. I want to see Nigerian politicians utilize the funds belonging to their states. I want to see the people holding their states accountable. I want to see attention taken away from the federal government. It's being put into regions. Because, see, this good governance must reach everybody. We are not competing with ourselves. We are competing against a Western monopoly. The globalists, the imperialists. These are the people we are competing against, not ourselves. We need to put our house in order. One thing I'm pushing for a southern president is because of a northern president. There's so much influence on a northern president not to restructure Nigeria like this. Because northerners are the ones that are benefiting most of this united mirage of Nigeria. Somebody say it is a contraption. Northern Nigeria and the Fulani, they are the ones benefiting most from this contraption. So they don't want this contraption to be restructured, supported by the Britain and the imperialists. So the battles we are fighting is not a battle amongst ourselves. It's a battle against the globalists, the imperialists. And look at Burkina Faso. Most Southwesterners were attacking Burkina Faso, this and that, this and that. Go and look at what Burkina Faso is doing. Even though there's exaggeration to a level, propaganda here and there. Go and look at what Burkina Faso is doing. Producing military machinery within a short space of time, because they had to do away with this whatever. Nigeria cannot take the decision Burkina babes took. It is hard for a coup to happen in Nigeria to speak, because we are divided along ethnic lines. We have different nations. And the West, the globalists, the imperialists, they are using a particular nation. They cause division. You will not agree. And they use a particular nation to be controlling everybody. Unlike Burkina Faso, although they united, everybody supported the coup. The propaganda of the West and France 64 and co. could not stop them from being focused. And they sent France and every other person packing. They also got the backing of Russia as much as. So the battles we are fighting is beyond ourselves in Igbo Yoruba. See, all this one you are doing Igbo Yoruba, blah, blah, blah. All those one does not count when it comes to the world. If you travel out of the country and you see things that are going on, you see what people are doing part time, you see the level they have gone. We are far behind, far back. I pity people when they say, see, let me not even go into that. But this tax reform, we are going to organize ourselves to a point whereby we know where we are going, we know where we stand, we have a unity of purpose. Then nobody will not start arguing, okay, you they receive more now. No, it is, the law says if you create more, you get more. Let's look at, okay, the federal government used to, let's look at, okay, all VAT revenue generated in Nigeria will be shared on a formula of 50% equality. That is 50%, for instance, Lagos State gets 100 million naira from VAT revenue. 50% of that 100 million naira will go for everybody. Everybody go share them equally. Everybody go share them. 50%. Equality. 50 million is going for equality. Then 20% will be shared based on population, according to your population. The state with the highest population get higher share. Lowest population get lower share. There will be a percentage of your population, your state population. They will cross it with the population of Nigeria. There will be a percentage that will be derived, and that percentage will be used to collect 20 out of 20 million. 20 million, your percentage will use that and divide 20 million. Whatever you get is going to go to your state. For instance, out of 20 million, Abia population is like 2% or 10%, let's say 10% of the whole of Nigeria. You're going to get, out of 20 million, you're going to get 2 million. You see how it goes. Let's move on. And 30% based on consumption. 30% based on consumption. So 30 million remaining from the 100 million, it depends on who is consuming. For instance, Northern Nigeria, they consume beer, they consume alcohol. You won't come chop inside alcohol money. We look at those consuming, there will be a way to calculate it. There will be a statistic for that. Those who consume so, where it's being consumed the most, then they will get 30 out of that 30 million they will share. Maybe most northern states will not be getting from consumption of beer, the tax gotten from consumption of beer, since they want to be using his bar to be destroying people's business. And from the back, they will be, you destroy beer. But when they say revenue on beer, you go and line up to collect money, to collect your share from the revenue of beer that you destroy. You destroy people's businesses, destroy people's livelihood because of alcohol. But when you want to collect tax collected on alcohol, how does that sound? That is hypocrisy in the highest order. So this is how it is going to be shared. Initially, people wanted 50% to be based on consumption. No, 30%, sorry, is on derivation. Yes, derivation. 30% will belong to the state whereby that is derived from. Yes. Then the 50% will be equal, then 20% will be based on population. And it's because before now, some people said that we should have 50% on derivation. 50% should be on derivation before now. Whereby 30% will be equality, 20% will be on consumption. But it's a different thing. And it even gets better. Usually, federal government used to get the lion's share of the VAT revenue. We have federal government, we have state government, we have local government. Now, it has changed. Okay? Federal government will have 15% of the VAT revenue. 50% will go for states, and 35% will go to the local government. So everybody is having their day, enjoying the whole thing. If it is implemented right, if it is implemented right, that is it. If the implementation is good, that is what you are going to get. This means in 2026, if you are not seeing development in your state, you should hold your governor responsible. They are already getting more than double what they got under Buhari from this administration. However, with the Tax Reform Act, you have a lot of monies to spend. That's on the tax. If I want to look at it holistically, I know that the value of the money you have now, using it to usually what 100 naira could buy in 2015, 500 naira cannot buy it in 2025. What 100 naira could buy in 2015, 500 naira, 600 naira cannot buy that same thing 2025. So whatever monies you have, it depends on the value of what that money can purchase. Although with what is going on, it is the mentality that you need to be creative to like generate revenue. That is where I'm going towards. I'm not looking at the value of what they get. People are now committed to holding their state governors accountable, their local government accountable. People are now involved in the politics. Everybody is involved and active to know. Content creators, people analyzing, they'll be analyzing your state revenue, analyzing what a state needs to do, analyzing what should be done at part time. Somebody said something and I was laughing when that person said that thing. He said, if you fix all the roads in Nigeria, politicians will not see anything they will use to campaign. If you fix all the roads in Nigeria, politicians not go see anything where they go use campaign, no? Because sometimes when I see people build schools, they build hospitals, they build roads, they say, we have come, we have achieved. You achieve road. Okay, what of in Britain? Politicians are coming. Look at Kemi Badenoch and the Prime Minister of Britain. Look at how they are debating on this and that. They will debate, that one debate. Are they debating roads? In 2025, you have a governor, you have a local government chairman. You do road, if they do like this. You build school. If they give you the money, you watching me. If they give you the money, you no go build that road. If you have the money, the funds. If you have money, you no go build hospitals. If you have money. So all these things, we know how to do this awareness, orientation, and campaign. Local governments, we will expose a lot of things you needed to do. So the next election, you will not come and say, you want to do road. Now lie. Road is not achievement. It will get to a point in time, everybody will not be enlightened. Your head will open. You will know what you need to do. That restructuring goes a long way in making the people committed and involved in the day-to-day running of the government. This is another way of restructuring Nigeria, and it's going to take us to pre-coup regionalism. May God help Nigerians.